All right, this is section 1.4, which is going to look at some different forms of linear graphs. So point slope form looks like this, where x and y are going to stay your x and y. M is still your slope, and then x1 comma y1 is any point on the line. So any point on the line you can plug in, and you just put the opposite when you're in the parentheses. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. All the numbers, are whole numbers. A shortcut to find the slope right from here is negative a over b. A shortcut for the x-intercept is c over a, and a shortcut for the y-intercept is c over b. So if you take those numbers and plug those into the little fractions, you can get those quickly. So write in point slope form, then convert to standard form. So pick a point. Well, first we got to find the slope. So slope is subtract the y's over the x's. So 7 minus 3 is 4, and 1 minus 3 is negative 2. 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. Now we pick a point and plug it in. So we put the slope, and then we write x minus x1 and plus y1. So there's our point slope form. Now to convert that to standard form, we just simplify it. So I'm going to distribute the negative 2 and then combine like terms. That's slope-intercept. So here's our point slope. Here's slope-intercept. And then standard form, we're just going to take that x and move it to the other side. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides, and we get 2x plus y equals 9. So that is our standard form. Okay, convert to standard form and give the x my intercepts. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply everything by the denominator. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we have negative x. And then if I add x to both sides, we get x plus 2y equals 6. So there's our standard form. To get our x-intercept, we do c over a, so it'd be 6 over 1, because there's a 1 there. So the x-intercept is 6. And then the y-intercept would be c over b, so that's 3. All right, graph on the calculator. So if you bring up your graphing calculator, in order to graph this, we need it to say y equals first. So we need to move the x to the other side. Then we have to divide everything by 2, so the y is alone. So we would get, and in the calculator, we can just put this whole thing in parentheses and write divided by 2. Or we can actually do the division, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 divided by 2 is 3 over 2. So you can put either the red or the blue in there. That's completely up to you. So, 6 minus 3x divided by 2. And if I graph that, I have the line. So y equals is this top left button. Type it in. X is right next to alpha here. And then you hit graph, which is the top left, top right. All right, parallel lines have the same slope. So if two lines have the same slope, they're parallel, they're never going to touch. Perpendicular crosses at 90 degrees. And their slopes are negative reciprocals. So the negative part means one's negative, one's positive. And then reciprocal is the flipped fraction. So if one is 2/3, the other one is flipped and negative, so negative 3 over 2. So let's look at this. Find the equation of a line parallel to 2x plus 5y and goes through the point 3/5. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the slope of this line. So it's negative a over b. So the slope is negative 2/5. Use this point to put it in point slope form. So negative 2/5 x minus 3 plus 5. Now we're going to distribute that 2/5 to get rid of the parentheses. So negative 2 times negative 3 is positive. Then we're going to multiply everything by 5 to get rid of the denominator. So we have 5y equals, so negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, divided by 5 is negative 2. 5 times 6 is 30, divided by 5 is 6. Combine like terms, we get negative 2x plus 11. And to turn it into standard, we're just going to move the x over here. So we get 2x plus 5y equals 11. Now, to put it in slope-intercept form, we could work backwards and solve for y, like taking this pink. Or we can use our shortcuts. So we know the slope is negative 2 over 5. And then to find the y-intercept, we do c over b. So it'd be 11 over 5. Then we just write that out. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus 11/5. There you go. Okay. Vertical and horizontal lines are perpendicular. So a vertical line is y equals a number, goes up and down. Nope, I lied. X equals a number. Horizontal is y equals a number and goes left and right. They're perpendicular. So find the equation of a line perpendicular to that equation with the point. So the slope of the given line is negative 2/5. So the perpendicular line would be a negative reciprocal. So it's going to be positive with the fraction flipped. Now it just says find an equation. We can do whatever form we want. So simplest thing is to put it right into point slope form because they give us the slope and then we're done. All right, scatter plots are a bunch of data points all graphed on the same grid. So we can do those right in the calculator. If these are your points, you take your graphing calculator and you hit the stat button, which is right in the near the top middle. Hit enter for edit. So to enter your data, you hit stat, then you hit enter, and then you put the X in L1 and the Y in L2. So I'm just going to type those. 2007, enter, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. And then I'm going to put the Y in L2. So there we have that. Now to make a scatter plot, you hit the second button, which is the blue button. And then you hit Y equals, which is right above that. And choose plot 1. And a screen like this will come up. So you want to turn it on and hit enter. Pick whatever color you want, doesn't matter. Make sure you're choosing the type that looks like a scatter plot. And then you just want to make sure the X list says L1 and the Y list says L2. Now it'll draw a scatter plot. To see it, you're going to zoom in. So you hit the zoom button, which is the top middle, and then 9, which is stat. That's telling it to zoom into what you typed in the stat menu. And it'll show you your scatter plot. So on a test, you can do it by hand, or you can just show me a picture of your calculator. That's fine to get credit. You don't have to do it by hand if you don't want to. All right, line of best fit. So once the data's in, we can find an equation for the line of best fit. So that is a straight line, in this case, that goes through as many of the data points as possible. So to find that, you hit stat again. Bring the calculator back. And then you arrow over to the calc menu saying, hey, we're going to calculate something. And then you go down to number 4, lin reg. So it's linear regression. And then again, make sure your X list and Y list match. And then hit enter to calculate. A is going to be your slope. B is going to be your y-intercept. So the equation of this line is 31.2x minus 62,241.6. If I were to put that in the y equals menu, so go to y equals and type that, minus 62241.6, and hit graph. Well, I did something wrong. 31.2, negative 62241.6. Interesting. 31.2286. Let's try this. It should match 31.2286. 31.2286 minus 62241.6 graph. There we go. So because the numbers are so big, I had to go out further with the decimals with rounding. Typically, I'll tell you what to round to. But anyway, the line of best fit goes through the points. That's the idea. The other thing that you get from that is R squared and R. R is the correlation coefficient. That means how close to a perfect line are the data points. So if your R equals 1, it's a perfectly positive line, meaning the line will go through every single data point exactly, and it'll be positive, meaning going up. A negative 1 is a perfect negative, meaning it's going down. And then R equals 0 is no linear correlation. So that means the points are going to be all over the place. They might be in a different shape, but it's not linear. So all of the numbers are between negative 1 and 1. The closer to 1 it is, the closer to a perfect line. So R for this one was 0.999. So it's pretty close to perfect. And if we look, it touches just about every point. So that is section 1.4. Let me know if you have any questions.